They were once Hollywood's most beautiful people, adored, desired, untouchable. But time, scandal, and self-destruction spare no one. From movie legends to TV darlings, these stars went from red carpet royalty to unrecognizable shadows of their former selves. In this video, we'll reveal 15 shocking before and after transformations that will make you question how fame, stress, and lifestyle can truly change a person. Stick around until the end, because the final celebrity's downfall will leave you speechless. Chevy Chase. There was a time in the late 70s and early 80s when Chevy Chase ruled Hollywood. His slapstick falls made audiences roar. His charm filled theaters, and his name alone guaranteed box office gold. Tall, handsome, and effortlessly funny, the Saturday Night Live star of Caddyshack and National Lampoon's Vacation seemed unstoppable. But behind the scenes, cracks were already forming. Ego clashes, off-color jokes, and tense writer rooms followed him wherever he went. His sudden exit from SNL left burned bridges, and a notorious backstage fight with Bill Murray branded him with a curse that would follow him for decades. Medium talent. Each new project brought more friction on Community. He had a shot at a career revival, but instead reignited old patterns, biting remarks, jokes that crossed the line, and an air of indifference that alienated castmates like Donald Glover and creator Dan Harmon. What could have been a comeback became another cautionary tale. As his reputation declined, so did his health. The once physical comedian now walks slower, his face puffy, his voice raspier. The sparkle in his grin has dimmed, replaced by the weariness of time. Still, Chase insists he has no regrets, once telling an interviewer, "I am who I am, and I like who I am." It's both armor and confession. A man clinging to his legend while the spotlight fades. Today, in his early 80s, Chevy lives quietly in upstate New York with his wife, appearing occasionally at fan conventions. Once the king of controlled falls, he's now the subject of a quieter irony. The only fall he couldn't choreograph was his own. Marlon Brando. There are downfalls, and then there's Marlon Brando's. The man who redefined acting, who turned male vulnerability into raw poetry, ended his life as a shadow of his former self, lost in excess, isolation, and regret. In the 1950s, Brando wasn't just a movie star. He was a cultural earthquake. His voice, his gaze, his physicality. Everything about him felt untamed, dangerous, and magnetic. With a streetcar named Desire and On the Waterfront, he changed acting forever, making it real, messy, and alive. Women adored him. Men wanted to be him, and Hollywood bowed to his brilliance. But genius came at a cost, and fame poisoned the gift that made him extraordinary. By the 1970s, when The Godfather revived his career, his body told a different story. Bloated, weary, and scarred by indulgence. On Apocalypse Now, he arrived overweight, unprepared, and demanded millions for minimal work. They shot him in shadows to hide his decline. The myth remained, but the man was hollow. Later, in The Island of Dr. Moreau, his eccentricities reached legend. He wore a bucket of ice as a hat and insisted on having a miniature double dressed like him. Directors feared him, producers endured him, and co-stars avoided him. The brilliance had turned bizarre. Off-camera, a tragedy consumed his life. His son went to prison. His daughter took her own life, and Brando retreated to his private island in Tahiti, surrounded by food memories and ghosts. He grew to nearly 400 pounds, rarely left home, and lived in nocturnal solitude. Yet, even in ruin, his presence remained hypnotic. His voice still thundered with authority. His eyes still hinted at the man who once changed cinema. Brando died in 2004 at 80, leaving behind a broken body, but an immortal legacy. Today, his influence still echoes in every actor chasing realism. He didn't just revolutionize acting, he exposed the price of genius without restraint. Madonna. For more than 4 decades, the name Madonna has meant provocation, power, and constant reinvention. No one, not even the younger pop stars who followed, ever commanded the stage with such fearless authority. Since the 1980s, the Detroit-born rebel rewrote the rules of pop music and made them her own. But somewhere between Instagram filters and another round of cosmetic enhancements, the woman who once defied time began to lose the battle she vowed to win. Now 67, Madonna lives in her lavish mansion, surrounded by mirrors. seemingly convinced she can stop the clock through sheer will and a surgeon's touch. Her face, tight, smooth, yet oddly expressionless, seems to whisper the words her voice won't say. I will not disappear. The same woman who once shocked the Vatican now shocks her own fans with strange videos, awkward TikTok dances, and poses that blur the line between bold and bizarre. On stage, the contrast is striking. The lights still find her, but her body no longer keeps up as it once did. Behind the dark glasses and lace gloves, there's a desperate struggle to keep the illusion of pop immortality alive. The tragedy isn't vanity, it's lost opportunity. Madonna could have redefined what aging means for women in the spotlight, proving that strength doesn't fade with youth. She could have turned wrinkles into a statement and maturity into her crown. Instead, she's become a caricature of her former self. To her loyal fans behind the latex and flashing lights, the real emotion that emerges isn't arrogance. It's fear. Fear of fading in a culture that discards the old. And in the end, that fear more than time itself is what truly ages her. Val Kilmer in the 1980s. Val Kilmer wasn't just an actor, he was a phenomenon. From Top Gun to The Doors to Batman Forever, he dominated the screen with a dangerous mix of beauty, arrogance, and raw talent. With the jawline of a classic hero and the soul of a tortured artist, Kilmer was magnetic and impossible. On set, he clashed with directors, vanished without warning, and shut himself in his trailer for days. Joel Schumacher, who directed Batman Forever, famously called him difficult, while Tommy Lee Jones bluntly told him, "I can't sanction your buffoonery." Kilmer was brilliant but uncontrollable, and in Hollywood, that's a curse. Years later, the fire dimmed. Cancer scarred his body and stole his voice, forcing him to communicate through an electronic device. The once perfect jaw now moves with effort, and the man who played Jim Morrison speaks mostly with his eyes. Yet in his fall, there's grace. Unlike others who hide behind denial or cosmetic illusions, Kilmer chose to show his truth. In his intimate documentary Val, made from decades of personal footage, we see him laugh, grieve, and remember without masks, without pretense. The stone idol became human, and that vulnerability redeemed him. When illness silenced him, Kilmer found something fame never gave him: peace. He no longer chases stardom or perfection. His face, marked by scars, radiates calm and acceptance. Though frail, he continues to appear at art exhibits and fan events surrounded by love. His aging isn't tragic. It's honest, painful, and profoundly human. Val Kilmer didn't surrender to his illness. He turned it into his most powerful performance yet. Steven Seagal. There was a time when the name Steven Seagal meant danger. Not the Hollywood kind, but the real bone-cracking kind. He was the calm, ponytailed master of Aikido who brought martial arts to the big screen with Under Siege. Hard to kill and out for justice. With his jet black hair, icy stare, and swift precision, Seagal wasn't just another action star. He was a force. Audiences saw a man of mystery and discipline, a real fighter who walked the walk. But time has a way of testing myths. His fall wasn't sudden. It was a slow unraveling. The muscles turned soft. The lightning speed faded, and the once commanding voice became a tired murmur. Now at 73, Seagal often seems like a parody of his former self, dressed in black, wearing tinted glasses, moving through life with the stiffness of a man chasing his own legend. Viral clips of him demonstrating Aikido moves while assistants dramatically fall around him have become memes. Where there was once fear and awe, there's now irony and laughter. And behind that laughter, darker echoes remain long-standing accusations of misconduct from several actresses that have permanently stained his reputation. Once a fixture on red carpets, Seagal has traded Hollywood for Moscow. His friendship with Vladimir Putin, Russian citizenship, and outspoken political views have turned him from an American action icon into a strange emblem of propaganda. He still appears in low-budget straight-to-video films, but the fights are choreographed for others. He mostly sits, speaks slowly, and lets the stuntmen move for him. Titles like End of a Gun and Contract to Kill sound almost poetic now, like epitaphs for a career that fought too hard against time. Look closer, and you'll see that his physical aging is only part of the story. The dyed hair-painted beard and identical outfits all seem like armor against irrelevance. A costume meant to protect the illusion of the indestructible warrior he once was. Lindsay Lohan. There was a time when Lindsay Lohan was America's sweetheart. At just 17, she was the golden girl of a new Hollywood, funny, radiant, and effortlessly charming. In Freaky Friday and Mean Girls, she wasn't acting. She was the teenage dream everyone adored. Hollywood crowned her the next Julia Roberts, and Lindsay believed the love would last forever. But fairy tales fade faster than fame allows. The cameras once adored her. Soon they devoured her. Paparazzi chased her through endless nights of flashing lights, fast cars, and faster parties. Too young to grasp that fame was not a gift, but a contract. She spiraled DUIs, mugshot, broken friendships, rehab stints. Each headline marked another chapter in her public unraveling. The freckles that once made her look angelic were replaced by the exhaustion of someone twice her age. What addiction ruined surgery and fillers couldn't fix. Hollywood, ever cruel, moved on without her. Yet somehow Lindsay didn't vanish. She left Los Angeles for Dubai, built a quiet life far from tabloids, and began piecing herself back together. Today, at 39, she's a mother and a wife living a world away from the chaos that nearly destroyed her. In 2022, she made a quiet but hopeful comeback with Netflix films like Falling for Christmas, reminding fans that beneath the scars, the spark still flickers. Her beauty may have changed, her fame may have dimmed, but her survival tells a deeper story. The story of a woman who lived through the full Hollywood cycle, the rise, the fall, and the rarest ending of all, redemption. And though her face bears the traces of every mistake, her eyes, calmer now, carry something stronger than innocence ever did. Resilience. Nick Nolte. There was a time when Nick Nolte embodied everything Hollywood thought a man should be. Rugged, magnetic, unpredictable. In the 70s and 80s, he was the modern cowboy, the wounded poet, hiding behind a tough jawline. 48. Her as the Prince of Tides Down and Out in Beverly Hills, every role proved that masculinity could have soul. In 1992, People magazine crowned him the sexiest man alive. Today, that headline reads like a cruel joke played by time. Years later, the image is starkly different. Nolte stepping out of his Malibu home shirt, half-buttoned wild white hair, eyes lost in a maze of wrinkles. The same face that once made hearts race now looks carved by storms. His fall wasn't just physical, it was chemical. Decades of alcohol and drug abuse turned him into a ghost of himself. In 2002, a single mugshot, disheveled hair, vacant stare, Hawaiian shirt, went viral before viral was even a word. The sex symbol had become a symbol of collapse. But behind that infamous photo was a broken man still fighting. Nolte later admitted to a near-fatal addiction to GHB, calling it a chemical hell. Sobriety came, but not without scars. His recovery saved his life, but it cost him his youth. Now at 83, Nolte looks like a character straight out of a Cormac McCarthy novel. Weathered, bent, yet strangely wise. He walks with a stoop, speaks in a growly whisper, and carries a calm that only pain can teach. He rarely acts anymore, but when he does, the room falls silent. People no longer see a fallen star. They see a survivor. His aging isn't tragic. It's truthful. Every line on his face tells the story of a man who lived hard, loved, recklessly, and refused to hide the consequences. Nick Nolte didn't age badly. He aged honestly. Then and now, 2025, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos. See you in the next one.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos. See you in the next one.